An important part of the home buying process that you may never have heard of is earnest money. Okay, so now let's get into it. An escrow account in real estate is a financial arrangement that is often used during the home buying process. It serves as a neutral third party account where funds are held until certain conditions are met. When a buyer makes an offer to purchase a home, they often include an earnest money deposit. This deposit is a show of good faith and demonstrates the buyer's commitment to the purchase. Without the requirement of earnest money, a real estate buyer could make offers on many homes, essentially taking them off the market until they decide which one they like best. Sellers don't like this and rarely accept offers without the buyers putting down earnest money. After both the buyer and seller agree to the terms of the sale, a purchase agreement or contract is signed. This contract outlines the conditions that must be met for the sale to proceed. The earnest money check is different than the down payment. It is typically cashed and held in a title company trust account, as they are a neutral third party, whereas your down payment is not made until the day of closing. One item I need to address on earnest money is please, please, please never use cash saved at home to purchase the cashier's check or money order for your earnest money deposit. If you are using a mortgage to purchase the property, we must, and I mean must, track where all funds came from for the transaction, including earnest money. All monies must be sourced or come from your bank account. Cash is not accepted in a mortgage transaction as we cannot verify where it came from. The amount you'll deposit as earnest money will depend on factors such as policies and limitations in your state, the current market, what your real estate agent recommends, and what the seller requires. On average, however, you can expect to hand over anywhere from 1 to 2% of the total purchase price. Your real estate agent may recommend that you give more to win a bid. In fact, the seller may be willing to negotiate on the purchase price a little if you make a bigger good faith deposit. This is something you definitely want to discuss with your agent, as there are pros and cons to making a larger deposit. The buyer typically has a specified period to conduct inspections and satisfy any contingencies outlined in the contract. These contingencies might include things like a home inspection, appraisal, or loan approval. During this period, the seller must fulfill their obligations as outlined in the contract, such as making any necessary repairs or providing required documentation. Once all conditions in the contract are met, the sale proceeds to the closing stage. At closing, the funds in the escrow account are used as part of the payment for the purchase of the property. This is when the earnest money that you paid up front is credited back to you and reduces your bottom line cash to close. Once funding occurs, the escrow agent distributes the funds in the escrow account to the appropriate parties. This typically includes paying the seller, the real estate agents, and any parties involved in the transaction. Once this happens, congratulations! You are now a homeowner. As a side note, if something goes wrong with inspections, appraisal, or the approval process and the contract is canceled or withdrawn, I suggest you discuss this up front with your real estate agent on the return of the earnest money. You must follow the dates and terms of the contract and be on time or ahead of schedule to make sure you do not lose the earnest money deposit. When purchasing a property, time is of the essence. And if your agent or lender asks you for something, you need to jump on it right away, or it could cost you money in the long run. For more mortgage tips, join me on this video where I discuss down payment versus closing costs.